Well, hi there, radio guys and gals. It's Bob, N1KPR, and this is a real weird one today, but it's a weird one times two, and I'm going to try to go through this quickly. I kind of get long-winded, but let's see what I can do here for you today. I was talking recently to a friend of mine. He's a chief engineer at a station in down there in Arizona, and he's telling me about these Bogan tuners. They're legacy tuners from back in the, I don't know, late 80s, probably early 90s. They're model number TP, Tango Papa 100A, not to be confused with the TP 100, which is close but quite a bit different animal. The 100A is an advanced version of the 100, a much better receiver. Both of them are Super Het designs. Here's the basic board of the TP100A. They use an internal frequency counter that gives you a very accurate display. So they're not PLL or micro-controlled tuning. The thing is that these stations like these because of the analog reception. There's no digital A to D in there. And they like to go out in the field and hear what their signal sounds like with a real analog radio. It's kind of a step back in time, but there you go. And he had a couple of these, and I've heard this from other people in the past, the various Bogan tuners. They have a TP50 and I forget. They got one with a string dial here instead of a digital display. The TP100 is a smaller display. The 100A that we have here is much more friendly to read and see. So I asked him, I said, you know what, I got an idea. I got a couple of those here. I'm going to put together a rack unit, and maybe you'll put it in the car, van, whatever. I think he's got a truck. And go out and do your measurements, see what you think of it. So here we are. I made two. I made one late last year, and I made this other one just this month, January of 2020. We all have good foresight for 2020. So let's quickly go through this. These are the basic switches. Let's see if we can read them. I had to take the knobs off and make my own out of some chrome tubing that I had. We provided on both of these a fringe and local switch, which we're tapping off the internal rod antenna. I've got that buried down inside and shielded with metal, so it's out of the picture, but we do need this thing as an oscillator coil. So we retain that rather than trying to add our own. Frequency. It's a string dial back to a variable cap. But again, you've got the display, so you know where you are all the time. Fairly accurate field strength meter. I've got these calibrated now to be almost, well, just over S9, about 60 microvolts full scale. So I could put that nomenclature in here for the guy if he wants it, but you've got 6 bars here to play with, and you know that you're S9 plus with a solid number 6 here. Again, about 60, 65 microvolts. We have the usual idiot lights for him with the data and carry. Let me kill all that audio. Where he could just glance over if he doesn't have this thing, the monitor speakers on. And you can see that he has something going. And also a pass and fail if they're using this in the studio to monitor their off-air signal. After 5 seconds, you're going to get a fail light here. I don't want to disconnect the antenna. I got everything jury-rigged here. I got both of these radios running off the same antenna. I've got the audios jumpered together, which you shouldn't do, but I did it. On the AM input, if you have a long antenna that might be susceptible to static pickup, we've got some DC isolation here and here. This, if you note, is the... Does it say it here? Oh yeah, in red. It's the CBM1A. This with the mods is the 1B. I'm kind of partial to the B. Let me go through some of the changes made. If you ever find one of these things, grab it. It's a lot of fun to play with. I've reduced the logic switching here for the idiot lights from this rather complex IC arrangement to some simple transistor switching, a much smaller board. We retain the tone compensation in both here. We have the VU indication board attached directly to the front panel, which we have here. But instead of the power amp being up on the front panel on the A, I've got it mounted back inside the unit. Should note that Bogen's line of tuners was for telephone on-hold music for their telephone system, not for paging. And it's a tuner, meaning it comes with no power amp. If you want a power amp that you're going to feed, do paging out to the factory or background music for the office or something, you would have to get one of the TPU versions. And I didn't want that. I just wanted the tuner. And again, we're back to the analog tuner. Here's the analog chip. It's really an FM radio on a chip, which is a 1235, LA 1235. Very, very nice operating chip for the FM side. I don't have the FM antenna hooked up, but when you do invoke that, you will bring up the center tuning indicators as well as if you have stereo or not. It also has a very nice muting circuit that you could leave wide open or mute depending on the sensitivity you want. We'll shut off that. We'll go back to the AM. Here's a local station on this one. It's totally different. We got running over there in New Haven, and a more local guy over here in Bridgeport. And we have that guy playing at the same time. We got a good solid 60 microvolts over here, and about 50 or so on this one. We have the usual tone control, low pass, high pass on both. This won't focus. Oh, there we go. Hard to get your phone to focus. I'm sorry, but my good camera doesn't work, so it's not a good camera anymore. What else? Oh, I'm using the internal power supply here. Here's the bridge. Down in here, the 4 diodes. It runs at about 17 or 18 volts DC. I added some extra filtering because Bogen was a little bit stingy with their ripple filtering. But it works pretty good. It's not the cleanest supply, but it's fine. You can't hear any hum from the supply. This one I inhibited the bridge, and I brought the power out of the transformer directly to a highly regulated, there it is, 12 volt regulated supply. The B running on 12 volts and the A running on 16 or 18 volts. I don't see any difference. I've run a lot of tests on these on the bench with the signal generator and so on. I don't see any difference. We also routed the AC differently here. I just brought it over to the transformer through the power switch on the front. This one, if you see the black and white snake coming around to the front, I'm not getting any hum pickup from the 120 field on either of these. Of course, this one is twisted to avoid that, but this one is just a flat 120 line, and no problems at all. So there you got a rather strange project that we put together, but it was something I dreamt up, and I asked him, and he says, yeah, let's try it. And I'll give you a few bucks for your time and effort, and we'll give it a shot. Maybe we'll buy it, maybe not. So I had to make two. I'll probably ship them the A model and keep the B for home. If he really likes it, I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. But I don't know. Again, if you're a tinkerer and you want to do some fooling around, grab a Bogen 100A. It's a TP 100A. Oh, I should show the FM side too. The FM feed to the back. I'm just running a TV balun out the back over here and a different kind over here. FM results absolutely fantastic. Maybe I should just do that really quick. Hang on. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. All right, here we are in a local FMer. I just switched the antennas here. 101.3, you can see we have a stereo light. We have the indicator that shows if we go off frequency, how to get back on. Of course, the stereo, all the audio is being mixed together here, left and right, because this is just a monitor thing. It's not for your local dance party, so that doesn't matter. But you could always tell the tuner that you're trying to receive mono. Here, if the signal's a little weak, you can go from stereo to mono, and you will get a better response on the tuner part of the thing. I guess when it looks for stereo, the sensitivity gets changed somehow. So it really doesn't matter if you have this light on or not, except to know that this FM sensitivity will change from mono to stereo. And of course the VU indication. So, okay. Beautiful audio, by the way. All right, I went real long. I said I wasn't gonna. There you have it. The Bogen TP 100A. They're old. They're around. I cannot find a schematic. If anybody can find a schematic for a TP 100A, I would be very happy to work with you on that to get a copy. None of the guys that own them have their manuals anymore. I don't have a manual. It's a mystery. I even talked to the factory, some very nice people at Bogen, and they said, no, we don't even have it in our archives. So look in your files. At TP100A tuner, if you have it, let me know. Anyhow, thanks for watching, Bob, in 1KPR on my YouTube channel. Please join if you like it here. If you find it interesting, let me know your thoughts. And my website, www.bobsamerica.com. Thank you. Have a great day.